Here. Here. Feel. Hear, feel, think.
Hey. Hey, you. You alright, Les? You were moaning something fierce for a while there. Feeling the effects of the ether, I reckon. You get used to it, though. Don't worry. You there! Halt! What's this all about? Inspection. Man, search the carriage. I'm just an honest peddler, friend. So, don't be too disappointed if you don't find nothing, huh? Mind your tongue, old man, let's cut it out. Look, sir, Sumners. Honest peddler, was it? Since when do honest peddlers steal prohibited herbs? You're in a lot of trouble, old man. You'll rot in a dungeon till the end of your days, unless you can afford the fine. Business as usual. Ah! Amaja! Amaja! To arms! To arms! Seven elves, consider this a warning. Now go, all of you! Whew. That kind of excitement ain't good for the heart. You be careful around them blast blades, lass. Bastards have a shot of your back if they fancy it. Like common bandits they are, only less honest. Thank the gods for sending some beastmen to the rescue, huh? Hey, seeing as we still got a long ride ahead, you mind keeping me company till we arrive? Them young ones don't care much for conversation, see? Burn's the name, and peddling's my trade. And judging by your unusual garments, I wager you're one of them new adventurers? I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory. Now that's what I call living. So long as you can avoid dying, I mean. Ain't no secret that adventuring is a risky business. These days especially. What was it that first attracted you to it? To gain power. Power? As in, power to do good? Like protecting the weak and fighting for what's right and all that? I thought that's what you meant. Well, adventurers do get up to a lot of fighting, that's for sure. You'll never be short on a chance to polish your warcraft and adventuring business. When you arrive in town, you'd best enroll at the Adventurers Guild. They'll set you on the right path. And it wouldn't hurt to join a guild neither. Ul'dah's home to a few, so if you fancy learning how to fight with a sword or fists, or even spells, you should think about seeking one out. Just remember, though, there are more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that's a fact. By the way, is that your first trip to Ul'dah? No. But of course it ain't. Still, might be as this journey itinerant has a few new things to teach you about your destination. Ul'dah's ruled by the Sultana in name, but as most folks know, the Syndicate holds all the real power. Them and their monetarist cronies would happily get rid of her grace altogether, but that won't happen while she still commands the loyalty of the Royalists, and the Royalists ain't nothing if not loyal. These factions have long fought over power, throwing the weight of their wealth against each other, as they show no sign of stopping. Because the Lizardmen, that's the Amalja, couldn't care less about Ul'dah politics. They have their own interests, see, and they ain't afraid to use force to serve them. They say war's a gift to peddlers, need greed and profit, and though it shames me to say, I'm inclined to agree. At long last. Behold, Ul'dah, jewel of Fanalan where folks turn sand into gold.
Deep in the sun-baked south, surrounded by the shifting sands of an endless desert, she rises. A solitary rose amidst the dust and rock, a symbol of defiance. Her name, Ul'dah. Even with the coming of the 7th Umbral Era, hope springs eternal for the mongers and merchants who vie for lost fortunes in this bustling oasis. As the twin faces of Nold Thal maintain their vigil over all that has been and shall be, the present proffers a brave soul. One whose arrival could mark the beginning of a new era of prosperity for the realm.
And here's where we part ways, lass. I'm off to the markets to deliver my wares, then it's on to the high road for me. Here, I want you to have this, by way of thanks for putting up with me, Prattle. You never did tell me your name, though. Here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and I consider us square.
May the traders nurture our fortunes as they kindle the flames which burn within us all. For by fire are we reborn.
Oh, adventurer, over here. Aye, I mean you. Fresh of a carriage by any chance, huh? How can I tell? Name's Wimman, and my business is knowing every bugger else's. Now then, what if I was to offer you some invaluable advice by way of welcoming you to our fair city? Free of charge even, just with once, like? Welcome to Ul'dah, the shining beacon of prosperity rising from the deserts of Fanalan. Please select your control scheme. Please mouse and keyboard. And yeah, welcome here in Final Fantasy XIV with a new character, so I can properly go through the starting areas of Ul'dah, and as I don't like my old recordings of at least the beginning, maybe a bit more than that, we'll see. Accepting quests, yeah, I know how this is done. Tis plain for anyone with eyes that you don't know your way around here. If I let you wandering off down the nearest dark alley, you're certain to get mugged or worse, and I don't want that on my conscience. So before you do anything else, you want to head over to the quicksand and speak with Momody. She's the master of the Adventurers Guild and can set you on the right path. Right ahead. Just take 4 steps over yonder and pass through the double doors, and you find her inside. And that's as much as you're getting for free. Good luck with your adventuring, venturer. You've begun a quest. Okay, go straight ahead to Momody. Why, hello there. Who might you be? If you're looking to join the Adventurers Guild, you've come to the right place. Name's Momody, and I own this fine establishment if it pleases you. I also manage the Adventurers Guild here in Ul'dah, so you might say that looking after green adventurers like yourself is my vocation. And lucky for you, that is. Without someone like me to steer you right, you'd soon find yourself in the middle of nowhere, caught up in business you don't understand. Like our conflict with Yamalja, for example. They've been plaguing the Sultanate for nigh on forever now. Then there's the Garlean Empire. None can say for sure what they're plotting these days, only that they are. Aye, the people drink and make merry, but underneath it all, there's worry. Worry and a lingering feeling of loss. And little wonder, it's scarce been 5 years since the Lesser Moon cracked open like a giant egg, releasing an abomination intent on turning the realm into an age foul. So much was lost in the blink of an eye. It was like the end of the world had come at last. But then things began to get foggy. Everyone got their own version of what happens next. Some of them, 2 or 3. You'd think people would remember something like that, but the fact is, they don't. Nobody does. There's one thing the survivors agree on though. The part played by a band of adventurers who laid down their lives for the realm wasn't their own. They fought valiantly, and like so many others, they never returned. Deeds worth remembering, I'm sure you agree. Just a shame our recollections of those brave heroes are just as jumbled as those of the calamity itself. Whenever we try to call their faces to mind, it's like they're standing between us and the midday sun, permanently silhouetted. I bet that sounds poetic to you, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It's bloody infuriating. But even if we can't remember them, we not let them be forgotten, and so we call them the Warriors of Light. and will forever stand as a shining example to what adventurers can achieve. That's why I welcome new arrivals like yourself to our fair city. All I ask that you lend a helping hand and try to leave Ul'dah in a better state than you found her. If you can promise that, I'd be happy to let you join the guild. Alright then, promise is a promise now. I'm counting on you to help put the past behind us. We need people working and spending and bickering like the old days. And a happy and prosperous Ul'dah means more business for the Quicksand too. Anyway, let's make this official. Go ahead and write your name in the register. Neat as you can. Desiree Klingenohr. Well, ain't that a charming name? Just rolls off a tongue, does it? Alright, Miss Klingenohr. On behalf of the Adventurers Guild, I officially... Please, sir, be merciful. 12 as my witness, I swear to you, I'll bring you your money. In the East, it is said that even a merciful god might be driven to vengeance if thrice blasphemed. Be grateful you are given a fourth chance to offend. You too, attend to this scum. No, please, mercy! Well, ain't that a sorry sight? Not an uncommon one, if I'm honest. Don't worry, though. If you work hard, I doubt you'll end up like him. Just the same, if you ever need a bit of advice about one thing or another, pay me a visit. Just don't go over me every time you stub your bloody toe, alright? Because I do enjoy hearing a lady muse on the many manhoods of her acquaintance from time to time. Anyway, welcome to Ul'dah, Desiree. Take a moment to catch your breath and I'll teach you a little about our fair city. So far, so normal. Before you go charging off to find your fortune, I have a few basic tasks I'd like you to perform as to help you get to know the place. First of all, I want you to visit the Aetheryte Plaza. To get there, head west from here till you reach Emerald Avenue. Then look to the north. You should see a giant floating crystal called an Aetheryte. If it weren't for Aetherites, traveling at Eorzea would be a damn sight more troublesome than it is, because you still need to attune with them before you can use them, so be sure to do that with the one in the plaza. You ever attuned with an Aetherite before, Desiree? If not, just lay your hand on the thing and you'll see what I mean. When you've done that, I want you to pay a visit to the Gladiators Guild over at the Colosseum. Assuming that sword ain't just for show, you might consider training them. And finally, I want you to visit the Sapphire Avenue Exchange over on the steps of Tal. Goods from all across Eorzea turn up there every day. You have no trouble finding armor, weapons, and anything else a fledgling adventurer like yourself might need. You might say that everything is for sale in Ul'dah, as long as you've got the gil. Just make sure you don't pay more than you ought, Desiree. There's plenty as won't scruple to swindle an unsuspecting foreigner like yourself, especially if you think no one's looking out for her best interests. Which is why I'm giving you this letter. When you visit the exchange, find a gentleman named Cesaroga and give it to him. He'll be happy to tell you all about the markets once he reads it. In short then, visit the Aetheryte Plaza, the Gladiators Guild, and the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Simple. Oh, but before you go, a word of advice. While there's more than a few unsavory characters out there who'll try to take advantage of you, there are also some honest-to-goodness problems who you should consider offering a helping hand to. A lot of folk are lured to the city by the promise of wealth and power. What many of them fail to realize is that instead of chasing after gil the moment they get here, they ought to be making friends. Let it be known that you're willing to give as much as you get, and opportunities will come your way. Speaking of which, you should speak with a smith over yonder. Those lads always have some good advice for up-and-coming adventurers. Otherwise, that's about it from me. It's past time you got going. Oh, and let me know when you finished, will you? That way I won't spend my days worrying that you're down to the small clause without guilt to your name. Well, it almost looks like I'm down to my small clause with this race, right? Anyway, somehow today is laggy. Hail, adventurer. Might you have come at the behest of Miss Momody of the Quicksand? Excellent, which brings us to the matter of the attunement fee. That will be 100,000 gil, if you please, madam. Apologies, I do so relish the opportunity to make that jest. The look on your face was absolutely priceless, but the fact that you were so easily deceived suggests to me that you're unfamiliar with the use of ether rights. Allow me to explain. These crystalline agglomerations tap into ethereal energies and are primarily used as a means to travel swiftly from one place to another. Perchance you have heard of return and teleport? Well, these transportation spells make direct use of the ether rights and their connection to the flow of ether. Given that there is an ether right in almost every corner of Eorzea, many adventurers with a mind to explore the realm will wish to seek out and attune ourselves to each and every one. But even if you have no intention of wandering beyond the Sultanate's border, it would be prudent to you to attune yourself to any ether rights you encounter from now on. I pray you found that informative. Should you wish to learn more about ether rights or transportation magic, I should be happy to answer your questions. Return spell. Are you normal home ether right? Yeah. Okay. Now, to the Gladiators Guild. And here. Welcome to the Gladiators Guild, friend. Tell me, are you new to the thrills of Mortal Kombat? Well, whether you are or not, you are new to us. If you would take your place in these hallowed halls, you must be willing and ready to undergo the most rigorous training. You must endure cuts and bruises beyond counting, and like as not, far worse. A daunting prospect, I concede, but there's no other way if you mean to take the blood sense one day. And why wouldn't you? The Colosseum is only the most celebrated place of public entertainment in all of Ul'dah. Where else could a poor man amass a fortune so vast as to one day allow himself to claim a seat on the syndicate? There's not an Ul'dah alive who isn't inspired by the rise of a self-made man. And there's no true embodiment of this than the gladiator who wins riches and fame with his sword. Throughout its long and storied history, this guild has nurtured countless champions. Our training methods are second to none, and our members ever strive to develop new techniques. If you desire true glory, to fight and triumph amidst the roar of 10,000 voices, then this is where you belong, adventurer. Think on it, think of your legacy, and if your soul stirs, join us. So this is the normal Gladiators Guild, right? Yeah. I already recorded a run of a character going through the Gladiator questline, so I won't show this off. Okay, now we're here at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange, which is a big marketplace, and Cesaroga is that thief sitting here. And you're a newcomer adventurer. But of course, yes, I'm Cesaroga. What can I do for you? Ah, you'd have me teach the ways of a marketplace. Very wise. As for my fee, what, you expect me to do it for free? Certainly a jest. My dear adventurer, when you ask an Ul'dah for a favor, you should at least try to make it worth his while. Judging by your garb, I rather doubt you could afford my services, but the fact you offer nothing is laughable. Oh, Mistress Momody instructed you to seek me out, did she? Consider yourself fortunate to have such influential friends. I shall be brief, and ye shall be attentive. You stand in the Sapphire Avenue Exchange, the busiest and most profitable marketplace in the Sultanate. Being advantageously situated in relation to other city-states, Ul'dah's markets have ever served as both a literal and figurative center of Eorzean commerce. All the great overland trade routes lead to our city, and the majority of maritime trade between Wilbrand and Ul'dah passes through our port. Because of this, countless companies and consortia have chosen Ul'dah as their base of operation. They see to it that this marketplace is awash with merchants and moneylenders day and night. Anything a man could ever desire can be purchased here, provided he has sufficient funds. Surely there's something you seek, adventurer? A deadlier sword, perhaps, or a shinier trinket? Whatever it is you want, the exchange will have it. To the north you will find merchants peddling armor and accessories, and curatives and crafting materials. And to the south you will find weapons, tools, and assortment of other useful items for sale. Seek out a particular merchant or browse to your heart's content, but do try to remain aloof should you find something that piques your interest. Decisions made in the heat of moment are usually unwise, especially where coin is concerned. That is all the complimentary aid you shall have from me, and far too much for my taste. My regards to Momodi. Now, off with you. Okay, we're back at Momodi. How was the tour of the city, Desiree? Get lost? Did you? Nope. Well, Ul'dah's a big place with lots to see and do, but wandering around aimlessly don't pay the bills. If you're serious about making a living here, you need to remember where things are. So, when you go exploring, explore like you've got a purpose, huh? Alright then, that's all left for you to work hard and make money and spend here at the Quicksand. Level 2, and we continue at level 5 here, I believe. No, level 4. Good enough. And I kept this episode here. Until next time.